What's up, Gazbot, once again. It's funny, the picture quality when I'm not streaming through StreamYard and I have some nice natural light is just amazing. It's like I have a whole different camera. The same setup I always use, but I just, whatever. Anyway, I am still going through old artwork in my old portfolio. I'm going to tilt this down so you can see what's going on. This is part 2. If you missed part 1, there'll be a link to it. This is from high school, which for me was 94, 95. This was recently recovered when my mom moved, and I'm going through it for the first time with you all. So, moving on, the next thing I'm pulling out of here. This is actually the best piece of art we've seen yet. It's not amazing, but, you know, there's a little bit of composition. I don't have too much... The anatomy's, you know, decent looking. It's on lined paper. I don't know what this is supposed to be. I feel like it's supposed to be the Crow, but I don't know. It's somebody in the rain, whatever. Sharpie. Okay, next we got, what is this? There's just like random pieces of paper in here. So I thought, let me pull up here. I thought this was going to be my high school portfolio, which physically it is, but I thought what it would be is that you're supposed to collect all your assignments, and then at the end of the year, you have this big portfolio of it. And I thought maybe it was my senior year or pieces throughout my, you know, tenure at Middletown, at my high school. But there's also just other random stuff that I think got put in there after the fact or you know, around that same time. But like, I guess I was like, this is kind of neat looking. Let me save it and threw it in here. Or maybe it's stuff that was left around, you know, my mom's house that got thrown in here by other people. I don't know. But the only thing I for sure knew was from high school was the Predator versus Batman thing, which I showed you last time. All right, here's a bunch of trading cards. These are all old Star Wars trading cards. Well, I don't know why they're in here. All right. And a He-Man. What is this? Like an iron-on, maybe? A little tiny He-Man iron-on? All right. Okay, here's a stack. I'm just going to grab a stack of papers here. Again, I don't think... This might be from high school. Was there some game? Oh, okay, so this is homework, I guess. Some sort of weird... I don't understand the math homework here. It's like AABB something. But on top of that, I drew a nice little sketch of Lobo smoking a stogie with triangle feet. Look at the triangles. I just literally was like, they're boots and then triangles. So that's lovely. Oh, here's some power pack. This is, I feel like this is this looks to me like pre-high school, this style of drawing. This is looking as a middle school, drawing some power pack, where it was sort of this weird amorphous thing, more power pack, all on lined paper. Here's G. The best thing about this is the effect on his hand, which I just copied from the comic. This actually is, I think this is an original character. One thing that stuck around, this sort of basic armor style and goggles with hair sticking out the top has been something I've always liked and continue to like till this day. All right, let me grab another handful. This is not exactly what I thought. Okay, I'm gonna get it. A big old handful. Ka-chunk. Oh, I can tell you right now, this is role-playing stuff. This is probably from Rifts. It's like weird dimensions and things like coming together, which most of my role-playing was done in late middle school, early high school, so that kind of lines up with what we're saying. Oh yeah, and see, here's some Shadowrun stuff. I was drawing dermal plating and eyes, and a lot of this stuff was in the book, so I don't know if I was copying it or reinterpreting it or what. Some weird part of a comic that I can't even read. A lot of power pack in here. More power pack. I was definitely into power pack. Photocopy that I was coloring of some old Marvel comic that had Thor and Nightcrawler in it. Interesting. Oh, this probably was Excalibur. Looking at it now. Oh, look, it's a lottery ticket. Hopefully that didn't win. Okay, time. The present. Where? A generic city. Plot. She tries to kill me guy. He says, no, bad. She goes, imp guy is bad. He says, okay, let's get him. Now, you would think this is something I wrote when I was like 8. I was probably like 15, and this is just horrible note-taking. Oh my gosh, more power pack. Tons of... one of the characters of Power Pack got turned into a horse chameleon alien, so that's what that is. All right, I do think this might be high school, believe it or not. Like, I was not good in high school. This was a character I made called Helm. Never did anything with him beyond creating him. But the idea was that this helmet it was kind of like the Black Hood, where like different characters would get it, but then it would switch to like a glove, or it doesn't matter. There's Box from Alpha Flight. Oh, there's Helm again. These are all. Oh, look at this. Okay, to give you an idea. Okay, see this right here? See how this looks markedly better and just a higher quality and different style? This was my friend Mike, that was my contemporary at the time. When I'm all like, look at this. I like comic books. And he's like, yeah, all right, I've mastered this a long time ago, and I'll be moving past it soon. So that was both inspiring and whatever, and making me want to die. Here's Helm again. And this, again, right here is me drawing Helm. And this was a sketch Mike had done that I inked badly, but you could see how that's like the better version. Why do I have so... I used to, I guess, save his drawings that he was throwing out or whatever. This is like a picture of the Vision, and he makes the joke about the skate. So there's some Mike stuff. And Mega Man codes, I guess. More Lobo. Lobo, again, was definitely like late middle school, early high school. I was very into Lobo. That foot is just fantastic. More Lobo. I wasn't even good at making it look the way Lobo looks. I did this a lot, where I would kind of lay out a page and it would never get finished. Also, you could tell I was just doing it on whatever size paper I had, and it would go right to the edge, and I wouldn't leave. I didn't understand how comics worked at all, really. Oh, there's a picture of Lobo from Mike. To my best bud. And then whatever that is. And, oh, look here. This is an example of me actually practicing to get better, because I was never good at guns or making hands hold things. I'm still not, but I guess that you could tell I was actually referencing a hand. The gun, not so much, but oh my god, more Lobo. I don't know what that is. Some guy. Okay, more Lobo. Just one panel. I'm gonna do this. This is Lobo here. Okay. This Bismillah. This is my Mike stuff. Bismillah, some kind of Batman thing. And that's my attempt at a different view. Oh, okay. I guess this must have been something we had to do for class for once. Everyone has a dark side. Don't let yours out. Don't drink and drive. That's your dark side. All right. And here's Lobo vs. Wolverine. It's terrible. This is all terrible. Let me tilt it up. This is all terrible, but before you think I'm being too hard on myself, A, it is terrible. But B, a lot of this was terrible for the time. It wasn't like finished drawings. It was just like I'd kind of half sketch it to be a bad sketch, and why did it get saved? I don't know. Like this is a lot of this is bad even for then. So I'm just whatever. The Rift Valley, BBS one. Oh. I am not a particularly techie guy now, but I was like into bulletin board systems and stuff before the internet was really a thing, and so this was me working on my own. The Rift Valley, it was a BBS, and SysOp or system operator was a thing, whatever. Okay. Here's Helm again, more technological or whatever. This is going back to what I was saying about Helm. First it's a helmet, then it's this metallic arm, and then part of that, and like the power would like move around, whatever, who cares. This is some like Mega Man looking guy. This is all just terrible. All right, here's a poem, a story. I don't know, I'm gonna read it to you. Once upon a time there were 3 men. Their names were Fargo, Rasp, and Tor. They were selected as champions of the kingdom. One day, they were enjoying the fruits of their labors. The king called a town meeting. When they got there, they found a horrible sight of ghastly mutilation. All across the courtyard, bodies were sprawled out in a madman's intricate design of total carnage and complete insanity. They instantly recognized the handiwork as that of the cruel savages known only as the Cutthroats. Enraged, Tog wasn't even one of their names. Anyway, Tog began to destroy everything in sight. Always being the violent type, he could only express his feelings through destruction. Now, at his most savage moment of ultimate fury, having no one to lash out at, is threatening to tear what little sanity he has left to shreds. That's it. This was, I don't know, maybe this was for an assignment. I drew a little skull face thing. Has nothing to do with anything before or since. Chaos ensues, a horrible picture of Helm. I just blew through paper, wasting, Earth. And this is all... And it's thick, heavy, like, art paper. There's me trying to do some inking on Helm/Iron Man. That's some horror stuff, I guess. There's a really beefy Spider-Man. A dead body, more horror. Some kind of monster. Might be D&D stuff. Another super beefy Spider-Man and a weird Mysterio. Oh, on the back. 18 souls are burning. Flux. Okay, some other weird poem thing. The Nightmare Continues. This is Ghost Rider ripped apart. I could not draw skulls, but I kept wanting to draw Ghost Rider. This is definitely some RPG thing, with maybe BattleTech. Yeah, a whole bunch of RPG stuff. A whole bunch of RPG. Okay, we're going to blow through a lot of this because this is just characters and a bad helicopter. Oh my gosh, this is all role-playing stuff, which I guess has some... Oh yeah, BattleTech, I was right. Annoyance, ticked off. This is middle school stuff, not even high school. Cyclops. I don't know what I'm looking at. It's so weird that most of this, I don't know what it is. This Helm, there's Helm again. Here's just a letter. Oh, it's a Valentine. Okay. It's a Valentine from my sibling. I guess when they were a little kid. And that is now preserved. Okay. And some note cards, I should say, with... I don't know why this stuff has been saved. What is this, like a transcript? I think this is like my transcript. Yeah, this has like grades on it from my high school, I think. I was not a good student, so nothing really to see there. Okay, there's a card with... Okay. All right. Oh, this is not worth looking at, and none of this. There's some nice blood splatter. Oh, this is a character I made up called 8-Ball. Again, when I say I made up these characters, most of them literally never went beyond me sketching them a few times. But he was a dude that had like a normal outfit with like a deep cut and then a kind of an Iron Fist thing, and he could mentally control an 8-Ball. That was it. That was the power. Great. Good job. There was a really heavily shaded Cyclops that I didn't finish anything else of on a huge piece of paper. This is that's a hallmark of early Gazbot work. That's a decent helm. It makes me wonder if it was built off of a Mike drawing or if I did it from scratch. More Lobo garbage. Last Will and Testament. This is actually a will that I wrote when I was a teenager. Let me see. Being of sound mind and body, all my comics go to my friend Frank, under the condition that he keeps them in good condition and doesn't sell them. And my answering machine to his sister. I leave my stereo CD player, all my tapes to my friend across the street. All my Star Wars stuff to my father, my VCR. To my other friend Frank, my posters, my drafting table. All right, this is weird. More Power Pack stuff. What is this? A mock-up for a comic cover on printer paper, old school printer paper. I don't know whatever this is. More. Oh my gosh, this one. Okay, you could tell I referenced this one. It's some Autobot, but you could tell I was looking at a picture or a toy or something. More Power Pack. Oh, here's a bag I saved from Toy Masters. That's amazing. Toy Masters was a store that was in Red Bank up until a couple years ago, connected to Hobby Masters, where I was a customer a few times and then worked there during high school. But this was, yeah, I must have saved it. That's pretty cool that I saved that. And the parent-student hand guide from my old high school, a very weird-looking female. This actually looks more modern only because it's so loose and it's not very well done, but you can see there's some energy. Oh, wait, this is Wildcats. I think, was I possibly copying a Wildcats comic just to get a feel for how things went? Well, it looks better than the previous stuff, but maybe that's because I was copying something. This is not my art. I don't know whose art this is. Maybe Mike, but I don't think so. Here's some Nightbreed heads. Yeah, I would just waste paper. All right. This is all Pluto. A phone bill. There's a phone bill in here. Why not? That's kind of interesting looking monster. Venom. I was experimenting with layouts and redoing them a few times. That's, good. And actually, you can see that it got a bit better from the beginning to the end. Still not amazing and still overly influenced by image stuff, but... Oh, this paper's so thick. There's 8-Ball again. Some kind of dragon. Who enters the domain of Craven? Craven, not the hunter, but the Martial arts dragon wizard. Brave warriors, the time is now. Okay, what's this? Don't get all bent out of shape. That feels like an assignment to me, but I don't know. This looks like, I was going to say life drawing, but it was probably from a photo because we didn't have nude life drawing back then. But it also says, my mom called. What classes do you take? Do you have a computer? And someone named Jen Berkeley, who I don't even know who that is. And some bad cars. This is lists of like usernames for BBSs. Oh, wish list. Okay, things I wanted like for birthday or Christmas or whatever. Star Trek novels, comic bags, backing boards, boxes. Japanese animation videos, Star Trek figures, Marvel X-Men figures. Star Trek Galileo shuttle ornament from Hallmark. Not only did I get that, but I still have it, and it goes on my Christmas tree every year. Transformers, any and all used or new, Game Gear, a bunch of games. Yeah. Okay. Who's in outer space? Yetis, dialects, and a changeable klutz. Okay, whatever that is. This is just garbage. I'm just going to flip through these. And Sasquatch from Alpha Flight, a terrible green goblin, some awkward women in bikinis. There's this guy again. I feel like he's an original character of mine, but I don't remember him very much. Oh! This is a comic book that was a free pack insert with Lords of Light, which is a pretty rare toy line, which is kind of one of the ones that are on my Grail list that I no longer have. I had 3 of the 4 that existed when I was a kid. I grew up in the Northeast coast, and apparently they barely got distributed, so I was lucky to have that. And then a picture. That's not me. Some more comics. That same page with Venom and Spider-Man. I must have redrawn that like 15. More! Jabba the Hutt card. More badly drawn women and whatever that is. And report card. This is Rift's RPG stuff. It makes me upset when I see, like, why did I do it this way? I don't understand. And I did it all the time. Oh, interesting. This is a RoboCop. I drew these ones. This one over here that looks better. In my mind, this was not me. This is my friend Matt. And I remember thinking, like, wow, that's amazing. Like, he wasn't pursuing art as much as I was. Not that either of us were pursuing much. I remember being like, he's so much better than me. Like, I was always being friends with artists that were better than me, which helped drive me, but also, messed up my ego quite a bit too, which I guess is not necessarily a bad thing. But anyway, this is very good and much better than it did. But I remember in my mind, it was like perfect. It looked exactly like RoboCop. And looking at it now, it doesn't, although it still has much better technique than I did. I decided to put all the damage in. Why? I don't know. Here's a bunch of garbage. There's a horrible picture of the Ray, the Joe Quesada reboot Ray thing. And then another letter that looks like it has photos in it, which is just like, random family photo. There's a picture of my mom. And, family photos. Why that's in here, I don't know. I guess, again, going back to what I said before, I guess this is just stuff that was deemed mine that ended up in here. I feel like part 1 was a lot more interesting than part 2. But I've been going on for a while. Here's a piece of an original vintage card back of C-3PO. Just that one piece, though. I'll go a little bit more, and then I'll call it a day. Another photo. Here's... Okay, this is interesting. It's interesting how much of other people's art I have in here. This is from a kid named Mike, a different Mike. I won't say his last name. I'm trying to avoid last names. This is a different Mike than the one I've been talking about, which ended up becoming a good friend of mine that I'm still friends with. This is someone I just kind of knew in school. I've heard that life has not gone so well for him, and I'll leave it at that. But he was an amazing artist. And this was his pencils that I inked with like a super, super small rapidograph pen, which I decided is the way to do everything. Again, image. And you can see this was a kid in high school doing this. Like, his anatomy was amazing, and obviously it's hyper stylized, and there's little mistakes, but it was nuts. And these are the people I was in school with, so it was like, I always felt inferior, but what are you gonna do? All right, I'm gonna end with these. Another one of these stupid ones. Here, okay. So this was from the staff, a comic that I never finished a full issue of, but I did do a few pages and pinups. And I think this character's name was Ground Zero. And this, you could see I was getting better. Still not great, but getting better. And this destroyed wall with this sort of style of making broken brick is something that I did for years, and even to an extent catch myself doing now sometimes. But that was pretty decent. And then these are photocopies of, I think, pages that actually went into the first issue of the staff, which was a comic that I put out with my friends Mike and Neil. It was like all three of our stories would be in one book, and that's what these are from. So I may have gone over these before, but you can see it actually, it's not amazing, but you can see that I actually started to learn how to make a comic, heavily influenced by Image in terms of layout of pages and just a ton of exposition followed by, hard to follow visuals that are exciting and whatever, no backgrounds, tons and tons of cross-hatching. But you could start to see like the seeds of, this guy is going to, become who I am now. Whereas that other stuff is just like, what's going on? That'll be the end of part 2. I don't think I'm going to go any more now, but there you have it.